In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to do game 1 from Prep Test 48. Okay, so in this game we have 5 players, H, M, R, T, and V. Okay, all right, and then we're really just given some rules about when the appliances can be used. So these players are appliances, and we're told that they can only be used in accordance with the rules that we're given. So we can't use both the hairdryer and the razor. So H and R cannot be used at the same time. All right, so I'm going to write this as a conditional rule. So if we use H, we cannot use R. If we use R, we cannot use H. And we can see that this second part here is the contrapositive of the first. So I've flipped and negated to get that contrapositive. Okay, and it would be fine if we started the other way as well, right? We would still derive the same statements, the same triggers and consequences. Okay. Rule 2, can't use both the hairdryer. Okay, so if we have the hairdryer, then we cannot use the TV. If we use the TV, we can't use the hairdryer. So using the hairdryer means we cannot use R, so the razor, or T, the television. Rule 3, when Henry uses the vacuum, he cannot at the same time use any of the following. So if V, then we can't use the hairdryer, and we cannot use the razor, and we cannot use the TV. So for the contrapositive, if we use any of these, we know that we're not using the vacuum. Okay, so for this particular game, all of our triggers are positive and all of our consequences are negative, which is kind of interesting. So I would be curious if I were to just sort of line up my players, which ones are going to be the most restrictive to use. So if I use the hairdryer, that means I can't use R, T, or V. So R is out, T is out, and V is out if I use the hairdryer. So that's combining elements of all 3 rules. Okay, if I use M, which is the microwave, then that actually doesn't have any consequences, right? So M is a free agent, so I can use M with any of my other players. For R, there are going to be some consequences to using R, so H will be out, and also V will be out. Okay, T is going to have some consequences. It's going to trigger some consequences. So from rule 2, the contrapositive, we can see that H will be out if we use T, and V will also be out if we use T. And then finally, V. If we use V, we can't use H, we can't use R, and we cannot use T. Okay. So from this, I can see that the maximum number of players that I could use at the same time would be 3. So I could use M, R, and T, and then avoid using H or V. If I use H, then the only other one that I can use is M, and if I use V, the only other one I can use is M. Okay. We are not given a minimum or maximum initially, but we can see that the minimum that can be used simultaneously, I suppose, simultaneously implies that we are using more than one, right? So that would be 2, and then the maximum is 3. Okay. Let's do one of the questions here. So, question 2. Assume that Henry is using exactly 2 appliances and is not using the microwave oven. Okay, so we cannot use M, but we have to use 2. Which one of the following is a list of all the appliances other than the microwave oven that Henry cannot be using? Okay, so because we're looking to get 2 in, and we've already eliminated M, we can't use H. We also cannot use V because they would eliminate the rest of the players. Okay, the players that can be together, even without M, are R and T. Okay, and H and V would have to be out. Right, because if we use R, or if we use T, we know H is out. If we use R or T, we know V is out. So the correct answer is E for question 2. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.